Willing to do to make our dreams come true. Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Cause he's the man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. Said, how about you? For the master, master teacher. Freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we may be, but we are life on spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, bring it master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, bring it master teacher. Bring it freedom for the master, master teacher. 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 Freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They finished. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to lock brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down to make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult. There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Cause he's the man of the hour. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. Said, how about you? For the master, master teacher. Freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we may be, but we are life on spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, bring it master teacher. Bring it freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, bring it master teacher. Bring it freedom for the master, master teacher. 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 Freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on.
Freedom,
They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished.
freedom.
They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to lock brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down and make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult.
Bring home now, bring home now. It's freedom, master teacher. Bring home now, bring home now. It's freedom, master teacher.
There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our
He's
opposition?
been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamarae. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. Said, how about you? For the master, master teacher. Freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom knowing we could never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master. Bring a master teacher, bring a master teacher for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Bring a master teacher, bring a master teacher for the master. Master teacher, freedom 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 for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on.
Freedom,
They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished.
freedom.
They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to lock brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down, make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult. There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our
He's
opposition?
been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, 'cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamarae. He put his life on the line for us all, and for the truth that lies must fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. How about you? For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. 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 Freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we may be, but we are life-born spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master. Bring a master teacher, bring a freedom for the master. Master teacher. teacher, freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to rob brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down and make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult. There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. How about you? For the master, master teacher, freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we may be, but we are life on spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring it master teacher, bring it freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring it master teacher, bring it freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom for the master, master teacher, 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 freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to rob brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down and make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult.
true, yeah. Make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. Said, how about you? For the master, master teacher. Freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth we may be, but we are life on spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and walked the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, bring it master teacher. Bring it freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, bring it master teacher. Bring it freedom for the master, master teacher. 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 Freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on.
Freedom,
They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished.
freedom.
They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to lock brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down, and make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult.
Bring home now, bring home now. It's freedom, master teacher. Bring home now, bring home now. It's freedom, master teacher.
There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our
He's
opposition?
been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building building Tamarae. He put his life on the line for us all, and for the truth the lies must fade away. It's been a long time coming, yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking, it won't be long to make our dreams come true, for a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. Said, how about you? For the master, master teacher, freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we may be, but we are life on spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring it master teacher, bring it freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring it master teacher, bring it freedom for the master, master teacher, 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 freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to lock brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down, make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult. There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamarae. He put his life on the line for us all, and for the truth the lies must fade away. It's been a long time coming, yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking, it won't be long to make our dreams come true, for a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. How about you? For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher. teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom. Master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we may be, but we are life on spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master. Bring it, master teacher, bring it, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Bring it, master teacher, bring it, freedom for the master. Master teacher, 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 freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to rob brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down to make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult.
Bring home now, bring home now. It's freedom, master teacher, freedom, master teacher. Bring home now, bring home now. It's freedom, master teacher, freedom, master teacher.
There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do everything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our
He's
opposition?
been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, 'cause he's the man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. Said, how about you? For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. 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 Freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master. Master teacher, freedom for the master. of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring it master teacher, bring it freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, bring it master teacher, bring it freedom for the master, master teacher, 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 freedom for the master. Teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to rob brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down and make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult. There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all, and for the truth the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. How about for the master, master teacher, freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we may be, but we are life on spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring it master teacher, bring it freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring it master teacher, freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to lock brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down and make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult. There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master.
Rahubat Muisar. Welcome, welcome, welcome to OSM Vision, where our souls matter and you can ask anything. All right. Share the link. Make sure you get everyone you know to tune in, because Wu-Sabat is the future and has the answers for your liberation and your salvation. Wu-Sabat is here to help humanity. So make sure you share the link and do your part in getting the word out. Most of all, Freedom Master Teacher Dr. Malachi Z.K. York, Pa Nabab Yanun. Freedom Master Teacher, let's have him home so he can take us to the next level. Rahubat everyone joining. Rahubat everyone on TikTok. Rahubat. Okay, let's have a look at the questions. We're going to get straight into it. Mabdel Basir, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Rahubat, just wanted to know the historical significance of Sudan. I mean, that's a very broad question, but Sudan was referred to as the outer garden because, you know, when the biblical accounts are talking about, you know, Adam and Eve being in the garden, the word garden is coming from Gan. Okay, Gan was the enclosed garden. Because again, it's an experiment. It was an experiment where the elders were watching these two children to see their nature, to groom them, because right when we get to the Adam that most people know about, which is the Adam of 49,000 years ago, not the Adamites of 6,000 years ago, that was Adam referred to as Nikeba, tribal leader for Eve, and the Adam that was her mate, or they were being groomed in the garden, because they took the DNA or the genetics from Ptah and Anath, which were the parents of Eve, and then you had Atum, which was Adam's parents, okay? And they took their genes. One was more disagreeable, so the Adam Kadmon was supposed to be more of a disagreeable nature because his lineage from his father were tying back to the Hindus. And then you had Ptah and Anath, who were the Ptahites, or her genetics, her genes came from by way of the African, and they were trying to bring the passive genes with the more aggressive genes to have a balance. So the elders were watching them in the enclosed garden known as Gan. And the outer garden or everywhere else outside of that controlled environment was referred to as Saudi, which you're calling Sudan. So they took them and placed them eastward. That's why it was in a place that was originally called Becca, which became Mecca, where today you have, Mecca. It's important to realize that there were different Adam and Eves because these were different experiments to continuously try to improve them. So they were supposed to be watched and not to have sexual encounters until a particular time under the science of, nature, and the elders knew when, but Eve got beguiled, and as the story goes, obviously they had sex, which was something that they weren't supposed to do. And when they were found out, they tried to lie and hide, and fig leaves and tried to cover themselves up from the shame. But as it goes, their eyes were open to know the truth, which, the so-called serpent told them they would know if they ate of the fruit that they were not supposed to. But to answer your question, yes, Sudan was that area outside of Gan. The planet changed in terms of the landmass over time, because originally, the continent and the landmass was all one. We have a caller already, so we're gonna take that call. And yes, Saket Ra, thanks for your contribution. Caller, what's your name, where are you calling from, and what's your question, please?
My name is Kerith Muir from Jamaica.
Rahubat. Go ahead.
Yes, Rahubat.
Rahubat.
Okay, so my question is, human beings, we've gone through many stages of development. And since we're here now in the most, not the most highly developed time, because there were ancient civilizations that were very advanced as well. But in this time specifically, are there otherworldly beings that telepathically influence certain human beings to do things? Because I'm wondering if, like, for instance, there was a movie named Metropolis that was released in 1927. And it was directed or created by Fritz Lang. Could it be possible that there are certain otherworldly beings that influenced him to make that movie because they're trying to open up the human mind towards the supernatural? So in that sense, do human beings get influenced by otherworldly beings telepathically to do things?
Yes. I know you kind of went around a bit, but yes, human beings are able to be influenced by different beings that vibrate on different vibrations and frequency and on different realms, as well as within this physical material world. And this is why when we refer to you as being an electromagnetic semiconductor, it's because you're able to receive and transmit. Okay, you have a radio in your head. This is why you hear voices, and you can pick up vibrations and frequencies which can affect you. When people say they're thinking, you're receiving thoughts, and that's without wires. Even though today we take it for granted when we're using like remote controls of our televisions, which is using infrared, or when we're connecting to the, our local network, we say Wi-Fi, we're using wireless communication. So that should explain to you that you're able to receive and send messages. And these messages can come from all the way from the 9 realm, the ninth realm or abode, cosmically, and this is one of the things that Nikola Tesla, as a scientist, was working on. He was able to have interstellar communication, and you do have beings that telepathically influence you. We teach you in Wu-Sabat that you have higher senses, and one of those higher senses is telepathy, right? Which is the real, like, when you're talking about your senses, you've got lower senses, which is the one touch that deals with the physical and the things that you touch by way of light entering your eyes for you to see, by way of waves, sound waves entering your ear for you to hear, touching your eardrum, by taste, something touching your tongue, and touch, which is perception. But you do have these higher senses where you can also receive messages from different places, and people who know how to utilize these frequencies can send you messages and have an influence on you. When we spoke about Yakub, who created the Flugerod, he was telepathically influenced because he had two brains by Pleiadians. These were the beings that were utilizing his brain to give him the ideas of what to do. You see, so yes, there are many beings.
I think I missed that part. You said they influenced Yakub?
Tua, yes. They influenced him to graft the Flugerod. And today you still have many people.
But how could the Palladians influence Yakub? Because I mean, isn't Yakub like a very advanced being? So how could they tap into him?
Well, when you say an advanced being, it is based on your mind, right? So you yourself have a brain, and you can also receive messages that will be telepathically influenced. You can have, you know, someone who knows what they're doing, like an illusionist, can send suggestions and messages to hypnotize you, for example. So it's not about how smart you are, it's the fact that your brain can be utilized by somebody who knows how to send you frequencies, and you can react on those frequencies. When you're receiving thoughts, where are the thoughts coming from?
Yes, that's a good question.
Right, so yes, it is very possible, and many people that have been abducted or had encounters with extraterrestrials have relayed messages like, I could hear them, they were speaking to me telepathically, or they stopped me from being able to move, or they were able to do things that, you know, were controlling me and I had no control over it. Couldn't scream, couldn't run, but they could hear their voices in their head. So this is what we're doing in terms of when we're accessing the higher senses, we're being groomed and taught how to be telepathic and how to use clairvoyance and intuition and psychometry. These are all, you know, this is why we keep saying the mind is so powerful, and we recommend everyone to read the Mind Scroll, because once you understand how you can block frequencies, even when you look at the story of the Anunnaki, they were controlling the people so that they would do the work that they wanted them to do, until when Nimrod, he was able to go to his father Cush in Africa to learn the language of Misbatia, our language, which was able to then block those frequencies that were being emitted or transmitted from Nibiru to affect the people. And when he came and taught them Misbatia or Nuwapu, they were able to block the frequencies and were now able to use their own mind and work together, and they were able to build and do anything that it tells you in Genesis 11 that was possible. That's what we're doing today, because you have the Heart Project, you know, you have many projects that are sending frequencies. In fact, let me pull up the Heart Project, because many people are not familiar with it. It can be used to control.
Before we go into the Heart Project, can you tell me, so the Earth and human beings, are we vastly famous among other beings throughout the universe?
It depends on what you mean by famous. We are famous in the sense that, well, mankind has been instrumental in the things they've done on the planet, which has led to it almost being destroyed many times. And so extraterrestrials that are highly intelligent have to step in, you see. And so we're famous, but for the wrong reasons, for really being manifestation or infesting the planet by polluting the waters, destroying the trees and nature, and, you know, polluting the rivers with like plastics, and, you know, even down to wars and using atomic weapons and things like that. So we're famous in that regard, but the ones that are really responsible, as in the Nagaru race, by way of our extraterrestrial, in particular Panda Babyanun, that is here to teach us so we can start to use more of our brain and start to access our higher senses, so we can be more responsible and not continue heading down the path that we are doing at the moment, which is destroying the planet. The HEART project, for those who don't know, is the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. Yeah, they say it's a scientific research facility that studies the ionosphere, which is the different spheres of the planet, by using radio waves to temporarily excite small portions of it. Yeah, it was originally a joint US military project. It was transferred to the University of Alaska. Now, when you study Alaska and watch the movie, the fourth kind, it explains that Alaska is like 6 months of the year in darkness, and this is where the Anunnaki came recently in 2003, and they were abducting people, and that's you know, shown in that movie. Yeah, so people even say that the HEART project is used to control weather and has been used for, you know, hurricanes and tornadoes and certain things like that. And you have to do your research on that. But yes, it's very common for extraterrestrials to influence and telepathically control or suggest things to people. All right?
Yes.
Anything else, or is that it?
That is it. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Okay, let's get back to the question in the chat. I already covered Sudan, the history of it. Tiny Cooks 9871. Teach me, teacher. Okay, each one teach one. Rahubat. Life is a blessing 247. Rahubat Musa, why do the 4-foot green men visit us, and are they disagreeable beings? We always encourage you to make your question as clear as possible, because when you say 4-foot green men, I think you're alluding to the Greys. And when you say visit us, again, who's the us, and are they disagreeable beings? So if we're talking about the Greys, there are different species of Grey, both agreeable and disagreeable. So let's have a look. Greys, extra ETs. I'm just trying to see what comes up. There's a movie called Grey's Anatomy, and it's in our book. Right, let's have a look at some images. Okay, so if you're referring to these beings here, these are what you're calling the Greys, because you said 4 foot. There are different types of Greys, and some of them are hybrids because they've been mixed with reptilians and other draconian beings that have abducted them. And so you have agreeable and you have disagreeable. The original Greys, the Maccabean, they were actually used as explorers, and they were sent out to scout and look at whether land was able to be habitable before the elders came. So you do have agreeable, what you would call Greys, and they got abducted at some point by reptilians who included their DNA with them to create different species of hybrids. And because the reptilian nature is disagreeable, they became disagreeable too. You have the ones that abduct like animals. When you see animal mutilation, they take animals and experiment on them because they're really like scientists, and they were exploring and trying to get emotions, because the ones that were, you know, captured by reptilians and draconians don't really have emotions like we do as humans. So they lack emotion, so they try to figure out what makes humans do what we do, and the lack of intelligence that causes the wars and, as I was saying, the destructions on the planet. When you say visit us, different people are visited by different extraterrestrials. But what I want to do, the master teacher also has greys that appear to him. I don't know if you can see. Let me just read this for you. And this is coming from the scroll, Actual Fact Series number 72, the Akasha Records. Okay, so what I'm going to do is read a little bit for you from page 19. I'll read from verse 95. It says, "As a child, I did not speak one Madat word or sound before the age 4 years, 4 months, and 4th day." 96. "On that day, I spoke for the very first time, to the shock of all who thought I was mute." 97. "At age 9, I had my first visit by 4 greys." If you're referring to that, because you actually said 4. "Visit by 4 greys. Kril, who's male, Sa'at, male, Alomar, female, came. And one Ariama, female, was Katula, killed, shot in Kentucky by a white farmer. I met them in New Jersey." Well, it says NJ, which is New Jersey, not New York. "I met them in New Jersey in the year 1953 AD at age 9 from that date, which I was taken for 3 days and nights and returned. Over the years, they have come to me right up until now." So he's explaining, Partner Babyanun, that these 3 beings have been visiting him from that day till now. 101, he says, "I even have a hybrid Sawartat daughter named Luhat, who comes and speaks with me when I think of her." Yeah. It says, "Well, it is me. What I am about to tell you is the Sawab, truth. You must let it be known. It is time, Wakut. I know you will doubt this Hakai story. I know I would if it was not me myself." 106, "I'm going to tell you something I never told anyone. My very first encounter with the Thalu Mukmeyu 3 aliens was October the 12th, 1955. I was 10 years old in Teaneck, New Jersey. It was night. I was coming back from Brooklyn, New York, seeing Yassar family." 108, "It was cold, dark. I had to walk from the bus stop 102 bus to the house, 245 College Avenue, Teaneck, New Jersey, where I lived." 109, "As I walked, I saw a bright light above me, Kabadun, a craft. I could not move." 110, "A ramp extended from it. It was not very big. Then I saw what looked like a shadow of a Karad child, not bigger than I was. Yet then I noticed these big black bee-like eyes and a big head, long arms and fingers." 111, "I wanted to run, yet I could not move." 112, "Then I noticed 2 others come down the ramp." 113, "The first came right up to me and put his fingers right above my ayantui, eyes, at my brow." 114, "The khawaf, fear was gone. See, so this is what I was saying, that he was afraid, but when one of them put their fingers between his eyebrow, his fear was gone. 115, it spoke inside my head. You see, this is the telepathy, or speaking to him telepathically. It spoke inside my head and said, we will not hurt you. I am Sa'at. That is what I am called. 116, he turned and pointed at the other two. That is Alomar. She is my sister and he is Krill. 117, I could see the spelling of their Rananat names as he spoke. 118, he said, we arrived on this planet this time, September 1955 AD, in Kentucky. We were sent to find you. We will need you. 119, at 10 years old, I did not understand. 120, they each touched me, looked in my eyes, in my Ayantui eyes, and all at once said, yes, we found him. This is he. 121, Alomar took my Yadad hand, led me up the ramp into the craft. 122, I don't know how long I was there. 123, they put something up in my Yanaf nose. It hurt at first, then Sa'at touched my face again. 124, the pain left. They showed me around the craft. There were others of them who looked at me yet said nothing. One of them, Adon Zakor, remember, said, we will be with you from time to time. Your race sent us. They will also come to you once you are of age to better understand. 127, then like a flash, I was back on the road alone. I was balula, confused, felt strange, yet did not think that had happened. 129, my Yanaf nose used to bleed a lot. 130, one night in my bedroom, it began to damum, bleed a lot. Soon after, they came right through the wall of my bedroom, adjusted it, and the bleeding stopped. 131, they stayed with me that night, talked with me. 132, I asked them where they were from, and they told me. 133, that is when one told me they landed in Kelly, Kentucky, September 12, 1955 AD, and one of them was shot and died, so they took her back to the craft. 134, they became my Musdaqu, trusted friends. 135, they would come often, said you can tell people, yet they will not accept it. 136, I tried, and that was true. In time they took me, I was around 15. In 1960 AD, they saw I was doing bad things as a teen, so they took me upon the craft up and into a real big craft. I mean really big. There I met my own race, Murzaku, Riskians, who are 9 feet tall, dark-skinned with kind eyes. 138, they taught me, yet I would Nasoy forget, or I thought I forgot things and went on as a teen. I felt it was dreams. All right, so again, that's just to touch on your question about the ETs. So they're good ones, like you say. Your question is, why do they, the 4-foot green men, visit us, and are they disagreeable? Some visit people to abduct them, to take them and experiment, take them and impregnate them, or just do experiments. And then we have ours that the masters just explain, visit him, and I've been doing so since he was age 9. So yeah, there are disagreeable and agreeable in all beings. Okay, let's keep going. Life is a blessing again, 247. What was the mark that God placed on Cain? The mark was the what we would call the swastika. But again, there are so many different types over the years and ages. I'm going to see if I can, oh, there we go. I'm going to show you a few that people may or may not be familiar with. So this is from the Holy Tablets, page 648, 649. Okay, so this is going to show you a number of different, what people call swastikas, and how they evolved. Okay. There's another one. This one in particular is a symbol of homosexuality, because you may hear or see people talk about that. It's called the Iron Cross, which symbolizes homosexuality. The ones on the other page are the evolution, the different swastikas, and if you look at that one, it just shows you in relation to like the sun and the four wings. And this is the one I'll read a little bit about, which relates to the question. And this is called the interlocking halves, and it's talking about, okay, I'll read from page 656 of the Holy Tablets, from verse 278. It says, the interlocking calves illustrates the swastika or mark that was placed on the forehead of Cain, the coverer of truth. It said, kafir is a form of ignorance, where you get the word kafir from, right? And of the kafirs, the Dajjal, the Antichrist. Yeah, so that's the mark that was put on him, and it was put on him so that people would leave him alone, because remember the question he asked was that if the people came across him. Now the thing about that whole incident you should ask is, if there was only Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, and Cain killed Abel, and he was being banished to go outside from the garden, who were the people that were going to kill him if there were no other people on the planet? So that, in effect, lets you know that there were other people on the planet before Adam and Eve. And so he was being banished to the land of Nod, or it's really, we say Nod, but it's Nud, where you get the nudists come from, because in the land of Nud or Nod, different types of extraterrestrial beings were coming here to the planet, to that location for recreation. And they were mixing and doing all kinds of things and producing all kinds of hybrids. And the 200 fallen angels resided there. And he talks about when, you know, there was a war in heaven, and Michael and his angel fought against the dragon of the draconians and their angels, and they were banished here and cast down to earth. And they resided in the land of Nod, and they had children and were practicing all types of bestiality, sexuality. And this is why you find a lot of creatures in the Bible that are deformed or have like many arms and many legs, and the Hindu beings were also there. That's where you get that whole thing. When you look at a lot of beings that have like 6 arms and many legs, it's because of these extraterrestrials and the different mixtures where animals were being mixed with humans, and all kinds of deformities were, you know, coming out of that. All right, so that's the answer to that question in terms of the mark that God placed on Cain. And again, when we say God, we have to remember who we're talking about, because remember that Cain was actually the son of Nanah, yeah? Because when you read it in the kind of like the basic interpretation of the Bible, it just said that what's his name? Adam had received a son from the Lord, or Eve, shall I say, received the son from the Lord. But they don't tell you who's the Lord they're talking about, because when you start breaking down the Bible with words like Lord, you know, Master, and names like Yahweh, Baal, Yahuwah, these are different beings, different characters, okay? All right, let's keep going. Pharaoh 818, Rahubat, can we send our ashuk to our clan father Jimmy Cliff, and can we speak science about him crossing over, and of how to become an ancestor? The harder they come was my favorite movie. Yes, absolutely. Our elder Jimmy Cliff was a proud Nuwapian. You can find him wearing the crown with the Tui. He performed on the land on Tamaray. He loved the master teacher. And yes, we do send our ashuk, divine love, to him, and ask that his journey home, his transition and translation is smooth. And he was, the movie The Harder They Come was what he was originally really known for, but also the soundtrack from the movie. And he was a very prominent artist, singing good music. Yeah, and once we cross over, we don't, as you say, we don't die, or the word that's used as if it's the end, because energy does not die. You can only translate, transform. And when you're on the other side, you become an ancestor, and you can help and guide others from the other side. So yes, that's our elder Jimmy Cliff, who passed away yesterday at the age of 81. Much ashuk to him, and may he continue to, as you say, help us and work with us from the other side as an elder. All right, let's go on. Exposed you, Rahubat. Life is a blessing again, 247. When we're reincarnated, do we come back to the bloodlines of both parents, or just our father's bloodline, since our souls comes from our father's side? When you come back here, you're composed of the elements and the environment that you're in. So, you're composed of the ether, you're composed of your physical body, and the DNA and the genetics will come from your bloodline, from both sides. And but to be in this environment, in the physical, in this material plane, you do need to have or be composed of the elements. And the bloodline could be from both your mom or your father, or both, depending on the parents that come together to bring you forth, you see. And so your question is, it's both. So you're composed of the soul, the spirit, the ethers, and the elements that surround the environment which you're going to be in. All right, so that includes all the elements from the ground. So that would be your skin suit is composed of the elements from the ground. Your mother, when she's pregnant, she breathes in the air, which has tiny particles and dust of the ground. That's where they get the concept of God taking the mud to form a man. It wasn't like that. It's more the elements that are in the atmosphere. That females, when they're pregnant, they have a lot of sinus problems with, with their nose and stuff. They're taking in the dust of the ground. We always breathe in the dust of the ground, which then gets attracted to that pure soul or the spirit, because it attracts that bacteria. It's like a magnetic force, which is why I said you're like a electromagnetic semiconductor, where you're pulling things towards you. Centrifugal and centripetal forces, the attraction and you pull and you push. The pulsating of in and out, you see this up and down, in and out, as above, so below. So yes, you do take on the elements of your parents, or the DNA of both your parents. This is from Felicia Crosby. Do we do Shabbat, and when and what days? Shabbat is really, as we say, people say the Sabbath. It's a religious practice. We, Musbatu, live our culture. So we don't really subscribe to the Abrahamic religions and the Sabbath and those things that we practiced when we were going through the schools of religion. Okay? We do have our own rituals, and we do have, ways of giving reverence, performing certain rituals. Nothing to do with any kind of Abrahamic or religious practices. It's our culture within Wu-Sabat. And that's what we need to be practicing and learning, so that you can be upgraded or connect with our ancestors, the Salafu, your Salafu, and the elders, the overseers, Parnatharu, the overseers. So we need to connect with them and align with them. And by way of the chants and the things that we do, we connect with them. So people that still want to remain within the confines of religion may still practice and do those things, but they're holding themselves back, because we have to recognize, what the Sabbath was and what it came about, how it came about by way of Abrahamic religion. So no, we don't, not in that sense. But as we've moved on in the different schools, some people get stuck in the different schools and they want to continue doing, the things that we did in religion. But really, on the Wu-Sabat, you should be moving on to doing the things within our culture. All right. Life is a blessing 247 again. Is Anu female, or is there no such thing as gender on the highest vibrational level? You're asking a number of questions in one. The first one is that Anu is a title that was held by Mel, and just means the highest. Okay, so but you're right in terms of the second part of the question is, as you elevate further, there is still what you call gender, but not gender in the sense of how we perceive gender in the lower vibration or in this realm where we're dealing with physical, sexual organs. No, there's energy, as in feminine energy, and there's masculine energy. A bit like having, when you look at electricity, you have the plus and the minus dealing with the polarity. It's like that, but not in a gender in the sense of physical bodies, which deal with like the genitals when you come down in vibration and come here. The beings, our ancestors, like the Etherians that are on a higher vibration, what you have to recognize, we try to apply the laws and the things we have in the 3D dimension to what they have. It's different. It's like the spiritual realm has rules and regulations or laws that are different to the physical, because when you're composed of more dense material in this environment, you can run, you can move, you have locomotion, which is different to when you're in the spiritual, where you don't have a body as such, so you don't move in the same way. And as you go up higher into the higher ethers, you're dealing with pure energy that is so intelligent and can transform and operate within the laws of that realm. Yeah, so we try to mentally try to perceive or take what applies to us here to the other realms when it doesn't work that way. So yes, in terms of on that level, there is gender, but not in the same way as you perceive gender here. All right. Wow, life is a blessing. You got a lot of questions today. What did the creation before Adam and Eve do that was so bad that the creators did not want Adam and Eve's third eyes to be opened? Well, the thing again is that when we're saying Adam, depending on which section we're referring to when we're reading these monotheistic religious books, we may be talking about the Adam of 6,000 years ago, okay? And they were maimed, and it wasn't so much of what did they do that was so bad. It was a graftation that was done specifically for a purpose, which was to create a source of food for the Pleiadians. So they weren't supposed to be able to, it's like when you look at when you're breeding animals today, like for food, like whether it's cows or chickens or whatever, you know, they just bred for food. They're not really supposed to be thinking for themselves. They're just a food source. So yeah, so there wasn't like they did anything particularly. They were made for a purpose. Like today, people are being cloned, or you can make clones as a substitute or a backup to harvest organs. You know, so when people need a heart transplant or a liver or a lung, there are clones that are being made just for that purpose. And these clones they don't have a seed, or what we would call a soul. So when you're looking at it, you might see a being and say it's an immoral. That's why when it comes to cloning, there are all these ethical and moral debates and standards as to what are they? Do they get rights? Are they just like, you know, can we just clone? Because remember, they showed you cloning where scientists clone a lab rat with an ear on their back because they needed to make that ear to take it and transplant it onto a human. Then they had Dolly. Dolly was a clone, which was a sheep. And so when it moved to human cloning, there's all this ethical, well, there were, but if you go back and look at people like Rael and Clone Aid, right? These were, in fact, let me see if I can find, yeah, because sometimes when we say these things, we have to give you references to go and look at, right? If you search clone, and this is a long time ago, and it's been advanced a lot since. Right, look at this. Clone Aid is a company founded in 1997 by Rael. I just mentioned him. He's in the Holy Tablets as well. I'll see if I can find a picture of him in a minute. And remember the time period we're talking about. Sometimes you want to find something and you get it straight away, and other times I'll come back to that. But let me carry on. Rael was the leader of the Raelian movement that claimed to have created the first human clone in 2002, okay? A baby named Eve. However, these claims were met with widespread skepticism from the scientific community, as Clone Aid was unable to provide any verifiable independent proof. So that's what they said. If we look at the images, you see, this is the picture of him here, and the company Clone Aid. Clone Aid, and they kind of like went on the ground, and other companies were also participated in different countries in terms of cloning. Cloning is mentioned. In fact, let me read. I'm going to try and find a picture of Rael in the Holy Tablets, but I want to read something about cloning for you also from. It's amazing how sometimes I just pick books out randomly, and the questions that come along just seem to, well, obviously divine intervention. Let me see if I can, I'm going to read you something on cloning. And so as I'm looking for that, many companies, private companies started to do cloning because different countries have, here we go, different countries have rules and regulations, ethical, to do with, you know, what you can and what you can't do. All right, so I'm going to read from Man from Planet Risk, a classic book, and mine is almost falling to pieces because I've had it for a very long time. I want to read from, I'll read from page 8. It says, another thing I should mention while on the topic of genetic is, have you ever been walking down the street and see someone, a complete stranger to you, not your sister or brother, not even a distant relative, and he or she looks just like your Uncle John, cousin Mary, or even your mother, and your first reaction is to do a double take. That person laughs, talks, and or even looks like someone you knew from long ago. Of course, your next reaction is to walk up to the person and say, you look familiar. Haven't I seen you someplace before? Or you have called someone from a distance. You call out for them and they turn around and it is not the person you thought it was. However, they look exactly like that person. And even though you realize it is not, you walk away saying, that's weird. They look just like such and such. Or have you ever noticed how some people look alike and they're not even related, like an exact replica or twin? There is a possibility that person was a clone or a duplicate. Okay, so the question is asked, what is a clone? Answer. First, let me explain to you what the word clone means. The word clone comes from the Greek word klon, for twig, shoot. According to the Illustrated Heritage Dictionary and Information book on page 252, clone also means a group of genetically identical cells descended from a single common ancestor. One or more organisms descended asexually from a single ancestor to create a genetic duplicate of an individual organism through asexual reproduction, as by stimulating a single cell, which extends from kel, meaning to strike, cut, with derivatives referring to something broken or cut off, twig, piece of wood. So are you saying that this is how clones are made? Answer, yes. Clones are made by duplicating the genes from any one strand of DNA or one cell in the body, or you can go into the cell and destroy the nucleus, then inject another nucleus into it. This can either be animal or plant. This will produce a duplicate cell from the donated nucleus to this cell. Another way to make a clone is by using identical particles of genetic material inside a cell, called plasmid technique, which allows scientists to combine a plant gene with an animal gene. Cloning is not a recent scientific discovery. It has been in existence for thousands of years, but you just didn't know about it. When I tried to tell you about it over the 25 years ago in books entitled The True Story of Abraham, edition 91, Ancient Egypt and the Pharaohs, edition 85, and many others, everyone thought I was crazy. But once again, you now see that I've been saying all along was the truth and facts. So I'm just going to skip a little bit because I want to just jump to where it says, is a clone the same as a duplicate? The answer is no. As I said before, a clone is produced from twigging, gene splicing. Cloning is just the process of multiplying the one cell. When the copies get past 2, it's not a dub. Dub means double. You must understand the difference between a clone and a duplicate. With a clone, you just need one, and from that one, you make more. It's like having a master tape, and from the master tape, you make as many copies as you want. They are created from the process of twigging, Twigging is the process by which you join two things together, plant, cell, animal, etc., and make new plants, animals, or cells from the first. And this is the bit I wanted to really touch on when I said that they're used for body parts. Question: clones serve what purpose? Answer: clones serve one purpose, and this is to teach, but it is taking so long for people to understand the truth. Has been out since 1967 AD, but people have not been catching on fast enough. In 1970 AD, the doors were open. People lived with me, saw the truth, saw the miracles, and even saw the kingdom of the Most High, a movable throne called Nibiru, also called Makaba. And it's just going on to explain that people saw, and there's so much information in the Man from Planet Risk book, which goes back to the 90s. So that deals with what I was saying, that, yeah, there are people that are cloned for body parts, just like what you're asking, what was the purpose of the beings that were being created, Adam and Eve, or the Adamites, were really for food for the Pleiadians. Okay, let's keep going. I've lost where I was, but remember, if you want to call and ask your question live, you can. The number is, the area code for outside the UK is +44, and the number is 753-996-3882. One more time, +44 753-996-3882. All right, so let's keep going with the next question. The next question, and Rahubat, everyone joining. It's good to see you all. Let's try and get to 100. All right, so share, let everyone know we're live. Each one teach one, each one reach one. All right. So, yes, Freedom Master Nebu, Rahubat to you all. How can we help our sisters more in the community? Well, it's not just helping the sisters, we've got to help each other. And you first of all have to be in the community to help. Many people keep saying, how can we help? How can we help? Go to the United Sabians Worldwide.com website, search how can I help, and you will see the many ways you can help. But the best help you can really give is for you yourself to apply the knowledge and the information that the Master Teacher is teaching us to yourself, so that you can become a valuable member of the community, and so that you will be in the position to be given more information that is personal to you, and for you to be raised, and so that you can be the best version of yourself. People ask us what to do. We always say what to do. Become a part of a community, go to the bookstores, get to be familiarizing yourself with other people and learn from the inside out. But we tell people what to do and they don't do it anyway. So sometimes you have to realize many are called, few are chosen. Many talk and don't follow up with the walk. Some people just see it as entertainment, something else for them to do. But you have those who really want to transform themselves inside out, that want to be a part of the solution and not be a part of the problem. Because it's easy to talk. It's easy to point out the problems. It's easy to point the finger or even say, we should do this, we should do that, we should do this. But when it comes to actually doing it, coming up with solutions, being practical, working together in love and unity and building, we know who we see, because action speaks louder than words. You can talk all day, but ultimately let it be known by way of your actions. Okay? Paul Baldwin 88. Yeah, I wanted to say, Sakhet Ra, thanks again for your donation. Much love. Free Partner Babyanun, Dr. Malachi Z. York. 100%, that's an inevitability. It's going to happen. Okay. Paul Baldwin, 88. Through my perception, am I the only one having an experience and everyone else is non-player characters, and that would be the same for you as well? Yes, because as you can see on that board, you are the center of your universe. All right, so nothing would exist. Yeah, remember the word uni means one, starting in the middle, and you spiral outwards. Yeah, so you start off as a tiny sperm, and you grow and grow, and as you become aware of your surroundings, everything that you see around you is equal distant away from you. So you are the center of your universe, and you can't prove anyone else's existence other than your own. The female, being the goddess who actually creates both male and female, is able to be the only one who can really say, I've grown a being, I have another being within me, as she nurtures and grows the being in her womb for 9 months. We know 12 months eventually when they come out. So yeah, you are your universe, but the thing is, when you bump into another universe, that's when you recognize someone else. But up until that point, you are only able to really confirm you. Yeah, so in answering your question, your perception and what you know is based on you being able to pinch yourself to know if you exist. Okay, there's a scroll. Is God male or female? And also the scroll, the lotus, the sacred feminine, the scroll called the lotus of, by Parna Babyanun. Let me give you the correct titles. Let me find it. It's in Nashat. You can pick it up if it hasn't sold out. Most books sell out so quickly. The Gospel of Yanun, that's what I was trying to say. The Gospel of Yanun on the Sacred Feminine. And that is actual fact number 23. The Gospel of Yanun on the Sacred Feminine. Sometimes you hear people refer to it as just the Gospel of Yanun, or yeah, but the full title is the Gospel of Yanun on the Sacred Feminine. That's the scroll number 1, and the other one is God male or female. That's actual fact number 19. The exact title is Who is God, female or male? Yeah, that's actual fact number 19. So these two will go into detail about your question, my good brother, Paul Baldwin, 88. All right, let's keep going. Fab Solar, Rahbat. Crowd's favorite media, 3385 from Pennsylvania, Rahubat. Let me just have a little sip of Miss Iris Moss. This is so good. All the minerals you need. You can get this at the shop. Very refreshing. Absolutely essential. I mean, it's catching on. So many people are on it as well now. Okay, let's keep going. Did you guys buy this channel used to upload rap music? Yeah, like everything, it evolves. the channel started off like that, but what happened is, you know, after a while we started to upgrade and do with conversations and started doing interviews, and that's how it evolved. You can see on the board, if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe to the OSM Vision, which is now dealing with our souls matter. And you have to realize that a lot of rap, as much as it's good, it has a particular lifestyle. If it's not positive, like conscious rap, it also has a lot of, you know, disagreeable negativity to it. So we had to evolve like anything else. So you still find some of the older videos, especially the ones that had a lot of views. But yeah, we've metamorphosized into our souls matter, dealing with these truths of Wu-Sabat. Okay, next question. Did you ever see the ancient map, and what do you think about it, about the flat earth and all the planets is really islands? I think we've addressed this question so many times, and that's in the realm of belief, because, well, there's misinterpretation, misinformation, and belief. I've explained on a number of videos about when you use the terms in English, flat earth, when we break things down, we go into detail. So when you say something is flat, this is what we call flat. And when you're talking about the earth as being the land, it's not flat. So that debunks that straight away, because you have mountains and hills, and when you go deep into the seas. So there is no flat earth. There may be roads that you walk on where they've actually taken, you know, they've tarred and made roads and flattened them, but that's, you know, that's done manually by machinery. So there is no flat earth. But in terms of people talking about the different other continents and different parts of, you know, the landmass that people are blocked from going to, like the Antarctica and, you know, that kind of, the ice wall, and those things do exist. And there's enough technology and information now to say the planets, you know, they've studied the planets. So without actual facts to say it's flat, it's based on belief and conjecture. For us as Nuwapians, right, we know the master teacher has explained and has taught us about other planets, and him coming from Risk, being an extraterrestrial. Many people have seen crafts, have been taken on crafts and taken away outside the planet, looking down. People that can remote view, astral project, have been able to do these things. So they're able to present information based on their actual experience. So when you're trying to prove or substantiate something, there are 3 ways that you can do that: by evidence, by reason, and by experience. Experience is the best teacher. I just read where the master talked about being taken on a craft and shown many things. I'm going to pause because we have a call. Rahubat, or greetings. Caller, what's your name, where you're calling from, and what's your question, please?
Rahubat, Q, calling from the United States. I had a question about the pyramids. I was doing some more research. Were the pyramids, the way that they were built, were they inspired also by those Hindu beings, which they would call like the Nagas? Also, the mounds, were the mounds built by what we know as like the Moors, or what would be like the Etruscans, the real dark-skinned beings that came down and showed the people how to build like the mounds and the pyramids?
Mm-hmm. Tua. So it depends on which structure we're talking about, because there are structures all over the world that were built by extraterrestrials, different types of extraterrestrials. The main pyramids in Giza that people seem to talk about, those were built by our ancestors, the Natharu. And when people say the Nagas, they're talking about reptilians or serpent people. And so you had Hindu beings and other beings also that were building structures. Many, many extraterrestrials were using the planet with the knowledge of the ley lines and the energy points on the planet. So they built structures for various things. Even when you're dealing with Coral Castle, or when you go into South America where Enki was building a lot of structures. Even in Sudan, you have many, many pyramids. There are pyramids underwater, and if you follow the trajectory of where most of these, some of them were abandoned projects, so they're left ruined because of wars or many things that were taking place. So there are many structures around the globe, around the planet, built by Hindu beings, built by our ancestors of the Natharu in ancient Egypt, and built by the Anunnaki. And you also had like Pleiadians and other people that built structures. This is why sometimes, no matter where you go on the planet, you're going to find some type of ancient structure that was built with the assistance and help of the inhabitants, but being instructed by extraterrestrials. And everyone's trying to claim the most significant ones being the pyramids in Giza, but they were aligned to the Orion star constellation and Sirius, because those are the people that built them came from there, and we as their children were related to them. And that's why when you read the walls in Egypt, look at the pictures, and before they were starting to, where the Europeans started to chop off the noses to kind of hide the features and to give a facelift to the actual pictorial diagrams on the wall, by saying they're trying to, what's the word? They're trying to keep them alive, but they repainted a lot of things. But it's clear it's on the walls of Egypt.
Whitewash.
Yes, thank you. So yes, that's what that sort of taking place. Does that help?
Okay. Yeah, that answers it. Also, too, with those how we say what the Hindu beings or those Nagas, they also brought down, you would say, what that reptilian worship with them also, because I noticed when you go to like South America, what Teotihuacan, all these gods, they have like these reptilian inspirations, all the way to Tutankhamun in Egypt, which is originally Kemet, when he has the reptilian on the crown. Was that them influencing with that reptilian worship or DNA that they carried also too, and then mixing it in with the culture?
Absolutely, because the thing is, when people hear the word reptilian, they forget that snakes are reptilian, and we are reptilians. We're tied into that because we live in water, and we can't do without water. We have to drink water to hydrate. We have to bathe, take showers and baths, and we like to go swimming and go to the beach. And we breathe water as a form of air, which is dealing with, oxygen. The O is dealing with oxygen. Hydrogen is a part of that. So what it is, if you look at the ancient Egyptian pharaohs, they knew that the snake wasn't a bad thing, because the serum from the snake was used in medicinal purposes. Until this day, you look at the medical symbol, it has the two snakes. Yeah, so what they've done is taken the story of the beings that understood the science. They tell you the story in the Bible of, Aaron and Moses with the snake when they went into Egypt, and they were able to throw the staff down and turn it into a snake. But they made the snake a bad thing by calling it a serpent in the garden that was speaking to Eve. And people started to fear snakes, but it wasn't, the word was not snake. The word is a whisper or a whisperer, somebody that was speaking with a hiss. And that was really dealing with our ancestors as Ningish Zida. But as it went to other cultures where you're now dealing with these draconian beings, the dragon beings that came from Draco, they came and they landed in Bali in India, and these beings are the ones that they started to call, as you said, that whole myth came from that, the reptilians and the beings that they look like reptiles, but if you look in the holy tablets again, you talk about the dragon people, which ties into the Dogons, and as you say, yeah, there's the Hindu beings that came down way before, you know, the biblical accounts of the biblical story. So yes, you're right. Again, it's how they distort the truth and make it into something that it's not, because even though we are reptilian, there are different types of reptilians. You know, so that's what's happened. I'm trying to find in the holy tablets where, oh, here we go, right. So if we look at, if you, I don't know if you do have a holy tablets, but if you go to page 89, it ties into, you know, the dinosaur people that evolved into humans. The master teacher gives a lot of information and shows you these, the ancient statues prove that the Dogons were mixed with reptilians. This is on page 93. I don't know if you can see that. That one right there and there. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's a lot of distortion in terms of what they're telling you, comparing it with the actual truth. But yeah, that's why when you look at the different races on the planet, the first race being the Natharu and their offspring, the Africans, you'll have all the stories relating to how beings came here and came out of the water and evolved onto land. And then you'll have other beings that then came here once life was established on the planet, coming from the water into other beings coming from different planets, like, or different star systems like Nirvana, like Pleiades, Arcturus, and they also came in and settled in different parts. So you had Africa that was established, you had the land of Nod with the Hindu beings, and then later on you got the Pleiadians that came by way of, and the Anunnaki, and then you started to have mixtures and hybrids that were being made from that which already evolved on the planet, which was us. And the Pataites all the way to modern man, which we're dealing with the Sans people of South Africa, where the DNA can be traced back to from every race that have different traits going back to the Sans people of South Africa.
Okay. Last question also too. So what was it true that in the spaceship Nibiru that the Nakis also had other extraterrestrials living in there, and some of them were those Hindu beings from Nevada. They were in the spaceship too, and Anu dropped them off on Mars to build and construct on Mars. And also they dropped off the dark-skinned beings like the Moors, or we know as like the Etruscans, to work and mine gold and stuff on Mars. And they got fed up with working on Mars. So they traveled down to Earth, and during, Marduk's wedding, they tried to like steal the woman for themselves and stuff to procreate.
Yeah, you're partly correct. That's a good point, because we keep trying to explain to people that when people are saying Anunnaki, it's not telling you the actual beings' names. It's an incident that took place where Anu sent a group of beings in 50s to the planet Earth. But yes, on Nibiru is like a planetoid. It's bigger than the planet Earth, right? Because the planet Earth at one point was 3 to 4 times the size that it is today. So Nibiru, it's as big as that, and it's like this planet. People might think we're on a planet, but it's a craft, and we're speeding through space, and we're on a journey that takes, they say, roughly 365 days for it to go one rotation around the sun. But it's like if you had a mode of transportation like a bus or something that was running on a route. Like, for example, here we have a bus that runs from Croydon to a place called Brixton, and then it turns back and comes back to Croydon. Then it does this many times in a day. So that's what our planet is doing, is rotating around the sun. It's a craft. And on the planet, you have different continents. You have different races. You have the people on the planet mixing with different people. So, you know, you have the Negroid mixing with the Mongoloids and the Caucasian mix. Everyone's mixing, and you've got different beings on the planet. Now, if a group was sent somewhere for an event or an exploration or whatever, then that group may be composed of Hindus, Indians, black, white, you know what I'm saying? So this is what took place. So yes, on Nibiru, you have many different species of extraterrestrial, even Rama, which is a being that the master teacher speaks about. Because the master teacher is, for lack of a better word, an avatar, a being that other beings are able to speak through him if he allows it. So that's why he was chosen to be able to give us certain information from these different beings when we needed them as we were moving through the various schools, until now, where he basically started to give us Wu-Sabat in its fullness, or wu-nuwapu. So yes, you're right that there are different beings, and when you're talking about the Mars incident, that ties into, we've done a video called Anunnaki and the Biblical Interpretations. I can't remember the exact title, but that is because Anu's brother, we say the Anu that was the 9th Anu, because there were different people called Anu that were sitting in the seat of Anu, because that just means the Most High, as we would say the president or the prime minister, the person that is in that high position. And his brother Alalu,
him and his brother fought, right, each other
exactly,
for whoever was going to be the leader.
Yeah,
and the brother lost and was banished to Mars.
That's right. Alalu lost, and then he was going to be sentenced to death, and he ran away. And like you say, he built, structures on Mars, and came to the planet Earth. And Enki was already here, who is obviously the son of Anu, and they tried to make peace. Eventually, when Anu came down, he tried to find him, and he ran away and went back to Mars. So the face you see on Mars, which is, again, let's find it, the face on Mars and the structures you see on Mars are of Alalu. Face on Mars, which became a famous photo. Here we go. Can you see this? It says the face on Mars is a landform in Cydonia, because there's a part of, the region called Cydonia, that where they say in 1976 Viking 1 orbited. But this face on Mars is the face of Alalu, and there's other structures of his wife as well, because he built structures on there before he passed away. Yeah, so that's where that story is coming from. Did that answer your question?
Okay. Yeah, that did. So with the Marduk situation, they came down and they went to his wedding, and they were actually trying to like steal the women for themselves, to like procreate or do whatever.
Many extraterrestrials will come in here and trying to, what they would do is to make peace, or to kind of like, settle their differences. They would take wives from the different tribes. But in terms of the wedding, where are you getting that reference from in terms of the wedding of Marduk? Because Marduk was the grandson of Anu, and because Enlil and Enki were at war, we have a book called The Conflicts of the Gods, that goes into this in detail if you haven't got hold of that. But Anu sent Marduk because Marduk was his grandson, and he wanted somebody that he could empower to come and deal with the situation, because Enki was too disagreeable or more aggressive, and Enlil was passive. But they wanted to bring somebody that would actually do what Anu wanted him to do. So if you read that scroll, it goes more detail. But as far as the wives, this is why even Alalu and Enki, they were trying to get along, and they took the draconian wife. I can't remember her full name. I think it was Mylita. But yeah, let me not give you the wrong information. But yeah, that's what was happening. And some people were, if you tie it into the biblical account of the Nephilims coming down, and it says that they took daughters of men and they procreated with them. And this is what caused a lot of the disagreeable beings on the planet, because the passive nature of the Pataites and the reptilians, or these Nephilims, who were the Anunnaki or Anakim, they put their DNA into these females, and what came out was a being that was very disagreeable. That's why in the biblical sense it says that it grieved God for creating a weak and wicked being that was basically doing evil continuously. The thoughts and everything of his imagination was evil continuously, or wickedness. Yeah, but all those stories, they tie in and align, and some people just know a part of it or exaggerate it. And then obviously come into the later part where you had the Pleiadians, who, remember the different extraterrestrials that came here, they resided in Shambhala. Like you had the Danakil, you had the Teros, and the two of them produced Yakub. And Yakub was he had two brains as a big-headed scientist, and he was teased by both of them. So you had people that dwelled on the surface, and you had those that were in the caverns in the world. And Yakub obviously vouched to get revenge, and was going to go about creating a being that he will be ruler or god over them. And that's when he created the Flugorod. So there's so many different mixtures and beings on the planet, different extraterrestrials, until today. That's what's going on. You have beings on the planet that are, what I was saying before, they're soulless. They're like clones, basically. You got androids, you got beings like they're teaching the movie Terminator, where they look physically human, but they're machines or androids. And then you have reptilians that are shapeshifters. You have so many different beings on the planet that if you know what you're looking for, you can actually see and feel it. But yeah, I hope that does help with your question.
Yeah, that was a lot of information. And then just last final thing. So majority of us, we have our base is Natharu, pretty much the Negro. The Natharu is the base, but over time, a lot of us has been mixed in with so much different extraterrestrial DNA, from like reptilian DNA to what you say, the Hindu being DNA, and that's some other type of DNA.
Absolutely, 100%. That's why it's hard sometimes for people to get along, because they have conflicting DNA. And no matter what, people are going to be who they are by way of their nature. So you have those who align with Enki, you have those who align with Enlil, you have those who have, as you said, the Hindu DNA. And on the planet today, you have to really be aware of, I think your line has got some interference. But yeah, so you're right, 100%. That's why you have to be taught, and the bloodlines are now aligning with each other as we come to this day and time, because it does tell you that there will be enmity between the woman seed and the serpent seed. And the serpent is tying into these draconians and reptilian beings. And it's important to know your nature and align with the one that, because we all have that nature within us, in terms of we have the greys, we have the reptilian, we have the mammal, and we have the Natharu. So by the right information, you can learn how to suppress or transform from one to the other, from being more agreeable. And then, you can be then basically taken higher.
Will there be a final judgment though that'll be passed on Inky and Enlil and those Nakis that came down and did those things that they weren't supposed to do?
We are in the final judgment now. This is what we're saying.
Okay.
Like this is the showdown from now till the end of the world as you know it in 2030. And you're right, people are being influenced, and religion was one of those tools that was used. But now most people that their DNA is waking up, because we are in the day and time where you have to evolve in terms of your conscious being. And so by the master teacher being here, he's able to speak truth, and it resonates with those who vibrate and can relate to that, and it goes into their DNA, and then they start their journey of aligning themselves with truth. And then you have others who, no matter what, they're not going to, it's not going to trigger them, it's not going to activate their DNA, they're going to be who they are. But you're right, this is what's happening now, where, you know, that whole incident that took place previously in Revelation 12:7, we're talking about Michael and his angels fighting against the Draken, or the Draconian, the Dracula people and their angels, and they prevail not, they lost basically, and they were cast down here. This is what's happening now again on the planet. And movies like The Matrix and, you know, all these movies that have come out, Avatar and so forth, they're all telling the beings on the planet what's going on. And some people just are activated because it's their time, and others are still asleep, still want to be under the spell. And of course, everyone's going to meet their judgment as time goes on.
Okay.
Tawa, Tawata.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, let's go back to other questions in the chat. Did you ever see the ancient map, and what do you think about it? We covered that, was dealing with the flat Earth. Okay, Paul Baldwin. I lost 2 sons, a mum and a brother. Is the energy that operated their vessels able to contact me, or is it their energy gone on to have experiences? When we say the energy, you have a number of people. It all depends on their vibration in terms of the elevation and where they're at, but we're never gone, because as you say, that energy and that being, depending on which one, obviously you mentioned a number of people. Firstly, condolences, but we don't look at that as a bad thing, because we know that you either come back or you get to move on to the different realms and have different experiences. By way of Wu-Sabat, if you're within the culture and practicing the culture, we have ways that you're taught, rituals, etc., that you can communicate with them. They may be wanting to communicate with you. You have to know and learn how to read and see the signs of them reaching out. But yes, it is possible for you to contact them, or they contact you. Yeah, so it all depends. Each person situation has to be handled on an individual basis. Yeah, so if you do want to learn more about that, we do have our Telegram group. All right, we've got another caller, so let me pause and take that, and we'll come back to that. Greetings, Rahubat. Caller, what's your name and where you're calling from, and what's your question, please?
All right, greetings. My name is Joseph, and I'm calling from Texas, San Antonio.
Greetings, Joseph. Go ahead.
All right, my question was about plasma. I want to know the difference between plasma, like the plasma that's in your body, and plasma that's in space. And then I had a question about it too. I want to know if a person donated plasma on the regular, could it damage their mind, body, soul, or spirit? And that was my question.
Okay, so within your blood, you have different types of blood. Like you have white blood cells and red blood cells, and as you said, there's the plasmatic you. When you say, well, I mean, it's like when you give blood or share your body parts with somebody else, like in terms of a transplant, a lot of times it doesn't actually work, because the way your system is that you replenish your blood, and it may work temporarily with somebody else, but eventually it's not going to work, because you have to sustain by taking lots of different medication. And that's kind of what keeps people alive. But even then, they're normally given a period of time to say you would last for this long or live for this long, in terms of
See, no, it was,
yeah.
no, it was one because they have I don't know if they have it in UK. They have a lot of plasma centers in America, and you can go like twice a week, and they claim it's just nothing but the water off your blood. And I was just always wondering, what is the outcome of people doing that?
Yeah,
Or is it a...
it's like eventually, yeah, it's still tied to you, because when we start to deal with quantum entanglement, which is a term that people are learning more about, or epigenetics, it's going to affect you, because you're still connected to it, and yeah, it's DNA is still connected to you on a vibrational level as well.
So can it affect besides your body, can it affect your spirit, your soul, or anything?
Exactly, because they're all intertwined.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like blood. A lot of people say give blood and give blood. They have all these blood banks and give blood, and there are sinister motives behind it, because you do have what we're talking about, where you have a lot of vampires that drink and subsist off of the blood, and sometimes blood is taken even without your consent when you go for blood test, because you think about, you only need a drop of blood to look at on a microscope, yeah, to see, and to see what's going on in the blood. But a lot of the times you're given jars this like big, and you see blood banks everywhere. But yeah, so there is the time where people are like, yeah, I'm helping to save somebody's life, but yeah, it always changes, because as I said, your blood gets replenished. What's the other part of your question?
That was mainly it. That was it. To know the difference. And what's the difference between the plasma that was in your body and like the plasma that's in space?
Yes.
Are they similar or not?
Yeah. So when you start to study your blood, like I said, you got the red blood cells and the white blood cells. And they will say the white ones are the liquid, or the more like the it's not seen as blood, because people think blood is only red, but that's not even the color of blood. It's just that when blood touches oxygen, when it comes out of you, it changes color.
All right, I got it. That was my question. I appreciate it. That's kind of what I figured too.
No problem. Now, chakal, as we say in our language, tawat wadu.
All right, wadu. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, where was I again? Oh yeah, we covered that, ancient maps. Okay, covered the so the brother Paul, I was saying that we actually have books like Soul, Spirit, the 30 Spirits, Soulmate. We have many books that cover that subject in terms of communicating with loved ones that have crossed over or translated, and how you can bring them close to you. So if you're not a part of Wu-Sabat, get close, get involved, go to the bookstores, go to the communities, learn more, and you'll be given that information. Okay, we've got Crowlow L. Oh, there's one before that. This is from Sonny Fro. Rahubat, Ashuk student teacher Saken. I have a question till next live. it's on personal growth. I understand we are sexual beings, but I'm wondering why I'm so took over by those thoughts. And because you have to learn and learn discipline and learn ways and how to control yourself. Obviously, I don't know your personal circumstances or age and what you're around, what you're doing. But yeah, like anything else, it's all mental first. You can control and be disciplined by way of certain practices, and you should be able to channel that energy, okay, into something else, to take your mind off of it. But obviously, we would have to speak on a more personal or one-to-one basis. But yeah, like you have to remember that everything is mental, and your mind can influence you to do things if you allow it. And there are ways of channeling that energy into other things, all right? But we can talk about that, Sonny Fro. Crollo L. Is winter a man-made creation, or is it part of nature's natural cycles? I mean, we use the terms winter, but really there were only ever 2 seasons which related to the nature of the planet. And the planet as we know it today is not the same way that it was previously. Remember, after the accident, or many accidents with like meteorite showers and the crash of Nibiru, there were originally only 2 seasons, summer and winter. And that was because the planet had to be cooled, okay? Until this day, what people are calling night and day. And people say 24 hours in a day, but they're really 12 hours. The 24 relates to the number 24 being this project, referred to as Project 24, with the 24,000 years cycle, which renews on a bigger scale called the sun cycle and moon cycle. You've got those 24,000 years breaking into 6,000 year cycles of moon and sun, which really are gold and silver. And then today that moon, sun becomes summer, winter, summer, winter. However, the planet, after the crash, and it was held together, and it was a scientific endeavor by the crafts that hold it together with what we call the science of tetrahedron, okay? The planet has a central sun, and you have an outer sun. So what happened is that it would overheat. So it had to be cooled on one side, whilst the sun, the external sun, is facing one side of the planet. And then that's what we call day. But on another side of the planet, it would be in what we call a shadow state, or shadow hours, where it's being cooled. And then every 12 hours, it rotates. So the side that was facing the sun is now on the other side. So this is why in different time zones, depending where you are, it could be day or sunny, and then the other parts, the opposite part, it will be shadow hours, or we say night. So there are really 12 hours in a day and 12 hours in what we call the shadow state, or people say night, giving you the 24 hours. So it's never 24 hours of day, okay? And then the clocks and the time, in terms of what we call time, is based around that 24,000 mile circumference of the planet, okay, which ties into Project 24, the 24,000 human genome project, to the 24,000 year cycle that is all based around 24, to all the way to the clocks that you have, 24-hour clock and so on. So yes, the 2, like autumn, or people say fall and spring, were were just added later on, where as you were moving from one summer to the what they call winter, or from a sun cycle to a moon cycle, the transition between the two became known as spring and autumn later on. But originally there were only two seasons. So it is natural nature, because without that regulation, the planet will overheat and can actually blow up. Yeah. If you read Physical Ethers and Natural Ether Energy, these are two master secrets that we have. Goes into a bit more detail for you. Okay, Sonny Fro, is there rituals or chants to restore my innocence for self? It depends on what you mean by innocence, because innocence can sound like before you partook of the pleasure palace. If that's what you mean by restore my innocence, no, because your matrix, everything you've done and have been involved in, is a part of your matrix. However, yes, there are things that elders can do where they can take your disc, your me disc, and can adjust it, or, you know, erase certain parts that would help to restore you. But without going into the details of what you mean by your innocence. But yeah, we certainly have rituals that can renew you and can rejuvenate you, can even help you like with your telomeres to extend your life and so on and so forth. But, you know, we need to be a bit more specific about what we're talking about. Paul Baldwin again. As far as the slit experiment is concerned, are particles intelligent, and when we observe them, they behave differently? Would that be the reason we would never figure this plane of physical life? Absolutely. However, it's really to elude the six ether beings and six ether forces that are trying to get the secrets that they will never get. So what we're talking about is how, when things are being observed, they behave in a particular way. And then when they're not being observed, they behave in another way. So it's really to elude the six ether beings and six ether forces. But we, as Nagaru, as nine ether beings, are those, because we're connected. This is what I was saying about when you're dealing with epigenetics, or the ability to be connected wherever we are in the world, because we are connected. Yeah, so I'm trying to reread the question. As far as this, concern, are particles, particles are intelligent. The intelligence comes from darkness, and then light comes out of that intelligence. You know, so when they're saying God said, let there be light, God would have been in darkness and intelligence. And the womb of the woman, where beings are grown to come out here, it's in darkness. Your mind is darkness. You can't really see in that inside your head. So yeah, there's definitely intelligence in darkness, and the particles are intelligent. Bacteria is intelligent. All right, let's keep going. Rahubat from Oklahoma, USA. That's Daniel Starr. Rahubat. How are we doing? We got 80. We need 20 more people for today. That's our target for today, to get 100. And you can help. If there are 80 people on here, it's just dropped as I said that, but you can reach out, share the video to one person, like the video, and this will help the algorithm so we can get to 100 people. Okay, let's go to the next question. Remember, if you'd like to call in live, you can. And the area code +44 for the UK, then 753-996-3882 is the number to ring in. Do it on your WhatsApp and it will be a free call. Rahubat Saken and students, Rahubat, that's top 5 comparables B370. All right, let's keep going. Terence, what was the real purpose of the Great Wall of China? Do you practice numerology or astrology? The purpose of the wall was to keep foreign invaders out, because remember that after the war, China was, with the bombing of, Nagasaki and Hiroshima, that they wanted to rebuild and they wanted to really keep themselves to themselves and keep the Westerners out. And it took them many years, and now, they're one of the world powers because of they're keeping their secrets, rebuilding, practicing their culture, and they emerge as one of the most successful people now, and everything pretty much is made in China. But yeah, in terms of numerology or astrology, these are sciences, and our ancestors practiced, even though numerology is the science of 9, and we call that supreme mathematics, 9 ether. And so everything is based on science. Mathematics is science. But today people have different versions of what they're calling numerology and what they do with it and what they practice. And a lot of that is not based on natural nature, just as astrology now has become, or shall I say, what you're calling the zodiac today. That was a science, and that's become something else. So we deal with solar biology, okay? Not really dealing with astrology, which is what it became, where they took the Dendera map and the fact that we knew about the energies and how planetary bodies react and behave based on being ontologists or being like, we were able to study nature. We knew things and knew what happens and when. And that's become astrology and astronomy. And now you get like the zodiac signs and all of that, which is a distortion of that science. All right. I can't pronounce your name. Eduardo Sagrera, G8C. I had a dream last night. This dream was a man who had dark brown skin. It was a very nice color. He had wool color hair and beard. He had wounds on his feet like Jesus on the cross. I can't interpret your dream. We don't do that. That's not for us. That's your personal experience. And ironically, it's funny that you're saying that because you've been given that programming of Jesus being crucified on the cross, which is really the greatest story ever told. The cross fiction, or the crux fiction, which has become the crucifixion. That's just programming, and when you have certain images stored in your mind, we have an actual fact called, what's the name of it? I can see it. I'll try and find it, but it explains how we store images based on whether we come from a religious background, and depending on which denominations or whichever religions we come from, that people always dream and will see characters based on that. So for example, most Muslims might see the angel Gabriel or Muhammad or something within their religion, and most Christians are going to see Jesus or someone in a white robe and so on and so forth. I can see the name of that scroll. I can't remember it, but if I remember during the live, I will definitely post it. But yeah, to answer your question, we can't go into interpretation of your dream. That's for you. And let's move on. Sekhet Ra. Is Tafulat currently practiced, and is it performed on any particular day? That depends on the person, and it's not, again, these things are going back to the schools of religion. We do give respect and we do chant, and we chant and contact and call on and speak to or with our ancestors. If you're not up to date in terms of being in a community or like to where we are today in Wu-Sabat, the best thing is to try and catch up, or go to the stores, go to the community and read the latest actual facts, Partarak and Master's Secret. These are personal things. So if somebody wants to still pray and do tafulat or ashutat, if it gives them personal gratification or it helps you in some way, that's down to you. But yeah, in Wu-Sabat, we've moved on from tafulat. I mean, it's still there. Anything we've ever been taught was of value to us. It helped us with discipline and certain things, but it's down to you as an individual if you still want to practice those religious practices that we are no longer subscribe to unless you choose to. Next question. Eduardo, I can't pronounce the rest of your name. He was walking along, or you're still talking about your dream, so I'm going to skip that. The man looks like the statue of the man you guys have in your videos. He looked very, very similar. Yeah, I mean, Partner Babylon does visit people, many people across the world in their dreams, and you know, but that's a personal experience for you. Many people can relay their experience of him visiting them and so forth. So I'm not saying it wasn't, but I'm saying that whatever it was, that was your personal experience for you, perhaps to confirm something to you. The way the master has ways of reaching people for whatever they need for them, you see. So you have to explore that, make notes, and eventually you will get your answers. So I'm not disputing you had your experience. I'm just saying it was your experience. Next question. Pharaoh, online they say church bells, when stuck, expose draconian shapeshifters. It's supposed to mess up their cloaking technology. Is this true? I'm not sure about if the bells mess up their cloaking technology, but a lot of these shape-shifting beings, sometimes they need to take certain things, in terms of maybe drinking blood and all kinds of things to maintain their shape. And you see celebrities and certain people where, you know, they've been caught off guard, where their eyes or their shape-shifting, their form is not able to hold, and people catch, you know, many things on camera and so on. So, but yeah, specifically in relation to the church bells, I'm not sure, but I do know that the acoustics of the buildings in churches were designed in a particular way to basically vibrate and give off certain frequencies that appease certain entities. So I do know that, but as to whether or not it messes up their cloaking technology, I don't know. I'll have to do some research into that. Love the information on OSM. That's from Joseph Boligny. Thank you. Share it, like it, subscribe, make comments. That's how we reach more people. Grace Jokey 8123. My question is, when I become a member of OSM and skip 1 or 2 months without paying, will I stop being the member? Yeah, of course. It's like, if you don't pay your Netflix membership, you get stopped, don't you? And then when you pay, you resume. But it's also that flexible that you can, reactivate when you're ready. But you get all the benefits of getting everything first. Remember, the 12th of the 12th coming up soon. We've got a surprise for you guys. All I can do is this. Yeah, so look out for that. You'll get it first if you're a member. Oh, life is a blessing. Thank you for answering my question, Saken. Absolutely. Remember, this information comes by way of the master teacher, and OSM is the only channel that you're going to get this information from, because we get it from the master teacher, who has 76 trillion years of outformation that becomes information. And as long as we're students and we study, we study just as we encourage you to, as student teachers, we will always keep bringing it to you. Okay. Pharaoh 818. Are we allowed to do cash spells being a Sabian to get much needed cash? I don't even know what your cash spells are. Cash in itself is a spell because it's an illusion. It's just a piece of paper. And no, we don't do any of that kind of spells. You figure out ways and use your 9 mind to be wealthy, which we're supposed to be, by doing the right things. And but we don't do cash spells. We don't do spells anyway, like that. Shadel 93. Rahubat, the scroll, the Gospel of Yanun on the Sacred Feminine. Will you be restocking this at Nashat, as I'd like to purchase it? Yeah, I didn't realize we didn't have it, but yes, we will. Pharaoh, your question about bells makes me think about particular frequencies. I'm sure David Bowie knew. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I know about the frequencies. Okay, I'm trying to find the next question. Okay, this is from Kalissa T. Valentine. What are some steps to raise my vibration? Wu-Sabat, those are the steps. Like, put Wu-Sabat into practice. Of course, we're going to mention diet. We're going to mention what do you eat, what do you put into your body, because everything has a vibration, and what you put into your body has that vibration that can either pull you up or pull you down. So diet, obviously meditation, rest, being around like-minded beings, studying, and doing all the spiritual practices like fasting. These are all things that will benefit and help raise your vibration. Obviously the details of what that is, have alkaline food, drink lots of water. You have to study your body and study and realize everything is really energy and it's vibrating on a particular frequency, high frequency or low frequency. This is why the alkaline diet as opposed to the acidic diet, live foods, things that are nurturing, all that helps you. So, but don't know your personal situation, circumstances, and your diet and all that kind of thing. But those are just a few things you can do. Positive affirmation, positive thinking, all of that. It's all within Wu-Sabat. That will help you to raise your vibration. That's funny, Pharaoh. James Brown has got to be Nagaru. He had too much soul. You said had. Okay, caller, Rahubat, greetings. What's your name? Where you calling from? And what is your question, please?
Rahubat Dre from USA. I was calling. I had a question about. I know I was listening before, and you said like the empire and the system that they built is falling by 2030. Everything will be new or reset. With it falling in 2030 coming, will everything be reset and new for our favor? Those that are, Nuwapian, Negroid, original people, and what is to come after the year 2030? Is there anything particular we need to be prepared for after the year 2030 or to be looking for?
It's falling now. It's falling, in front of our eyes. And if you read Revelations, which people deem the book of prophecy and the book for this day and time, it talks about Babylon the Great falling. All right. And there've been other empires in the past that have fallen, the Roman Empire and what they call Babylon, or the New Babylon, which is what we're referring to now. So it's fallen in the sense of respect has been lost, economically it's falling. Just look around the world and you just see like the things that are happening now are not things that shows a great empire that's going to sustain itself. In fact, you can go on YouTube and just search the fall of the new empire and you will see this. It's not just the Nagaru, it is our time, because it's the renewal of our story in the sun cycle. However, Wu-Sabat is for humanity, because no matter who you are on the planet, if you apply Wu-Sabat, you're going to have a better version of your life and a better version of what you're doing right now, because it teaches you about, no one wins the race in racism. It teaches you about, your diet. It teaches you about how you can upgrade your mind, your thinking, your practices, everything that's going to make you a better person. Wu-Sabat teaches that. So anyone who would accept and apply it is going to benefit from it. However, yes, it is our time to really renew our story. So for those who do, they're going to elevate, they're going to transform. And for those who don't, they're going to basically fall away to the wayside with the falling system. And when we say the end of the world, we're not talking about like everything's just going to just disappear or explode. It's the system, the world as it is, that is not sustainable. Okay, so yeah, it's down to everyone. You have ascending and descending beings. That's my class on Saturday coming, and we're going to go into what makes you an ascending or descending being. So it's really for everyone. That's what people are talking about when they're saying the Christ consciousness, or we're living in that new paradigm where things are changing. So you're either going to change with it for the positive, or you're going to go down with it on the negative. But it's down to every individual who has the opportunity to hear Wu-Sabat, to learn about who the master teacher is and what his mission is on the planet, so that they can actually make the decision for themselves. It's really down to every person that some are more connected by way of their DNA, because it is a genetic doctrine, but it's available to anyone who wants to improve their life and live a better life than we have been living in the last 6,000 years by way of the moon cycle and the six ether forces that have caused the chaos on the planet.
Okay. And then after the year 2030, what would the planet or the world be like for us? It would be what, a new system? Would it be like, but like any do you know? Like,
Yeah,
what would
I
it be
mean,
like
the
after
master
the year
teacher has
2030?
taught us many things, but it also depends on who you are, where you are on the planet, because we are going to see, everyone talks about, the catastrophes, the floodings, the hurricanes, the tornadoes, all the things you're seeing happening at the moment. So there will be safe spots to be, and others won't be so safe. So it all depends on who you are and who you're being guided by. For us, we know, Partner Babyanun knows the way, and he's here to help and those who listen. So it all depends on, we obviously know that there's certain parts of the world that were highlighted by somebody that had a vision, a young girl called Lori Toy, who was,
You talking about the map where majority of the continents are underwater,
Yes.
and certain pieces are still above water?
Correct, yeah. But sometimes
Okay.
that's an American map. But the thing is that you can even just use common sense. You've seen tsunamis, and if you're in a place where you're surrounded by water and you see hurricanes and tornadoes and certain things taking place and volcano eruptions or earthquakes, then it kind of shows you that when certain things take place, you're getting on the Richter scale, hurricanes and tornadoes and earthquakes that are reaching places and levels that have never been seen before, quite unprecedented, to be honest. So you can kind of think about it. The movie 2012 gave you some insights into where we'll be safe, but for us, we have to move and go with what the guide, Partner Babylon, is here to guide us and show us what to do. So that's all I can really say. People try to run ahead of him. They try to, make their own decisions, but we know who the person with the keys, the secrets, with the knowledge is. So that's what we do. We stay close to the Lamb and follow him wherever he goes.
And by that time, 2030 arrives, or probably before then, will the master teacher be out? Because I saw the podcast with his son speaking. He comes on like on the 9th of every month, and he said that his father will be out before that time, and he'll be able to guide and lead us.
Absolutely, he's definitely gonna come home. We know that, and that's down to every single one of us. Because again, I said at the beginning, people want to know when something's going to happen, or, will this happen? I'm not directing this specifically to you, but they don't get involved and be in the know or help to make it happen. And we have to be involved as well, because we are just as instrumental for making it happen. We don't just sit back, fold our arms, and just think it's going to magically happen or wait for somebody else to do it. We are part of the process. So that's why we say to people, if you're sincere and really about it, come close and let's work together. Let's build that future that we want. It's down to us too. That's our test. That's a part of our test to see if we're worthy to be saved. And that's collectively worldwide for those who are about truth. Because it says, when the truth comes, all false things shall perish.
Right. Facts over feelings. Pretty
Exactly.
much.
100%. 100%.
Last thing though, how do you feel about, let's say for example, like my grandparents, all they know is Christianity, so they're heavily indoctrinated in it. So when I come to them with something or present them something like Wu-Sabat or something new that's giving in like extra information on what they believe, for them, since that's all they knew their whole life, it's so hard for them to even learn something new or want to listen to it. and they'll tell me, oh, it's wrong. Don't follow that or don't listen to that, because they've been so indoctrinated for over, like 50 plus 60 years of white Christianity, or that enslavement that was done to us.
Right.
So how would I go about letting them, trying to expose them to it, for them to better themselves, because they're at the age where they're about to transition on to the other side?
Right.
What would you suggest?
This is where, I mean, it's complex on different levels, but this is where you come in. You're really there to help them and save them as the one that's been chosen within your bloodline to know Wu-Sabat. And you have to learn and study and know how to basically put the information across to anybody on any level, on any age. So you may have to walk them through the Bible and the Christianity and show them things in a way that will click. The next level to that is also based on them, as in how they live their life, because it's not just on just dogma. It's about your heart seat. Were they kind people? Were they helpful? Were they? Because you can only be judged on what you know, and if you don't know, you have to be judged based on what you did with what you did know, even if it was just basic religion. Because you can have people in religion, and this is not to say people should just remain stuck in it, because if you have been exposed to the truth, then you will be judged on the truth that you've been exposed to. If you haven't, you will be judged on your mind, your intentions, how did you treat people. These are all things that are written in your matrix, your aura, how you are as a being. But obviously you are here to help them, because the facts are that some of them won't make it. Some of them will have to come back or relive many times. And, you're there, your example, it's not really just based on words in a book. It's about your example and how Wu-Sabat has transformed you and is changing you. And I think people look at you as a person and your example first, and then any other layers. So it is complex, but this is why we, as those exposed to Wu-Sabat, have to get it out to the world. Because sometimes it's not about the age. It's when people hear truth, their DNA will explode, their ancestors will guide them, and when they're in that position where they have to make a decision to go into the light or not to go into the light, to go towards their family, their ancestors, or to go towards some religious figure that could be, extraterrestrials or beings that are camouflaging like their family. So it's about not being tricked to go in the wrong direction. But there are too many different variables, but it's really based on you, because you're the savior for your family if you are the one that is resonating with Wu-Sabat and learning. But you have to also be groomed and be taught how to administer this medicine of Wu-Sabat. And that comes with the different situations, the different circumstances, the different people, from children all the way to the elders. So we have to know how to, administer Wu-Sabat to whoever on the planet. Doesn't matter who you are. If you're open to the truth shall make you free.
Right.
Okay. All right.
That answered it. Thank you.
Tua.
Go.
Okay, we have, for those in the UK, for those who know me, for those who attend the classes, we have a request. We would like to speak to people. We're doing an extremely important video. If you'd like to be a part of that, we're still looking for a number of people to join us. You need to be available. We'll give you all the details, but the Telegram group is there, or you can contact myself or OSM Vision directly to get involved. We don't want to give away too much, but we will be filming an excellent video, and we need some people to participate. We've got a number of people already. We just need a few more. So if you would like to do that, it will be really fun and interesting. And you would obviously be featured in the video. So get in touch with us as soon as you can. And we will make that happen. All right. Okay, let's get back to the questions in the live chat. We have about how many minutes left? 12 roughly minutes left. So if you haven't got your question answered, call in. But I'm trying to get through as many as I possibly can. Here we go. Yeah, so let me just read the message that's been posted. We're still looking for people to be part of a video being filmed December the 13th, Saturday. Right, contact the number below or the info@osmvision.co.uk email address. Okay, so greetings OSM and chat. Pharaoh, he always gives 110%. I wish Sir Ken was the Prime Minister of the UK. It would be a loving place to live. That's a great question, but honestly, we don't get involved in politics because we know how that goes. It's been something that's been instituted for many, many years, and we stay away from the fighting and the argument. We got a question?
Voice note after.
Okay, so yeah, I'd rather build our own Wakanda, and yeah, I like that, putting the energy into that. So, but we do respect the land and where we live. So, all right, let's go to the voicemail.
Rahul Bhatt, Sir Ken, long time. Got two questions. First one, if you were offered the position as Prime Minister of the UK, would you take it?
Funny.
And the second question is, where's Asaru, man? I haven't seen him for time.
Oh, great question.
It'd be nice to see him on screen again. That's about it, I think. I've got more questions, but I'm going to leave you. I've been talking to, what's his name? Pharaoh on the chat. And
yeah.
You do a lot.
Let me answer the
question. The question has come up about the Prime Minister thing. Anyway, Ashok. Keep doing what you're doing.
Ashok, Tawat. No, I wouldn't take the position. What I would do though, I would be a consultant. They can consult me and I will help them, give them, good information of how to run things. But yeah, I wouldn't take the position, but like I would consult and be an advisory body, as they say, give them the right knowledge, the right wisdom, the right understanding. And if they would take it on board and implement those policies, yeah, it will be love and unity. We look after everyone. But yeah, but in terms of getting involved, the time is now 21:21, 9:09. Getting involved with politics and all that, no. There was a second part to that question, which was, just forgotten. What was it again? It said about.
And the second question is, where's Asaru?
Oh yeah, that's it. Asaru is a traveling man. He's always traveling, and yeah, so he's away again. But I'm not sure when he's coming back, but he will be back soon. But he travels a lot and he goes on business and other various trips. So I just have to hold a fort. But Asaru is around, he's well, he's healthy. Sometimes he pops back for a little, like a little minute for a day or so, and then we hang out and then he disappears again. A lot of it's related to his work as well. So that's where Asaru is, but he's good. All right, we've come into the last 8 minutes, so let me try and see if I can get through more questions. How did the crash of Nibiru happen? M37VQ. It was an accident. It's like they were on a quest. Imagine, yeah, you're traveling in a car going somewhere you've never been before, or you've been before, but you take in a route and then somebody just pulled out, I don't know, from a side road or a driveway or something, and you swerve to avoid a collision or having an accident. But even though you're swerving from that situation, you go and hit something else. So that's what happened. If you read the story, obviously we've only got a few minutes, so I can't go into it all, but it was Neptune, the planet Neptune, that came out of nowhere, and the route they were taking, they didn't anticipate that situation happening. So what happened is, by swerving not to collide with Neptune, they hit another planet called Meldek, okay, instead. And then Meldek, it just kind of caused a chain reaction where from Meldek, it was crazy because the beings on Meldek thought they were being attacked. So they started launching crafts to go to war. And then remember as well, the distances that we're talking about. Remember I mentioned as well how big Nibiru it was, or is, a big planetoid ship. It can't even come into our atmosphere because the magnetic pull from it will affect the planet. So it comes close, and even then you still get like the tornadoes, the earthquakes, and all the things that take place on the planet. So in short, it was an accident. So the beings had to start to explain what happened by sending information and trying to explain it was an accident. And then the elders that were responsible for the accident, they basically said, okay, we're going to repair, because when I say the distances, the orbit, so like if you swerve and then you go back, you know, like if you ever saw an accident on the motorway, like everyone's driving, everything's fine, and let's say something happens, somebody swerves, hits another car, that hits another one. Sometimes it just causes like a chain reaction, and you get, you can get a pile of cars. So it was an accident, but they explained that it was an accident, eventually decided to help fix it because Tiamat was destroyed and cut in half, and the asteroid belt that we have today was formed from the debris that came from that crash. Then they used the science of the tetrahedron by using magnetism. Okay, let me quickly draw that. So if you look at the symbol, like this was the planet, and what they did was use crafts, yeah, to put them in different positions like this, and then each craft using magnetism to hold it together. This is, this is what we're calling the science of the tetrahedron, where if we were to just draw it like this, you then had, because magnetism was used to hold it together, yeah, and these crafts held it together whilst it repaired itself, and it took, to millions of years to basically repair itself. They then transported trees and insects and, terraformed the planet basically to keep it in place, and have been monitoring and watching it ever since. And then different life forms developed on the planet. So that's the short version, but that's the science of the tetrahedron and how they, repaired the planet. Okay, we've got people saying they love to participate in the video. So of course you have to be, you have to be in the country unless you're going to fly in. We're coming to the last 3 minutes. So how did the crash of Nibiru happen? Cover that. I noticed the streaming phenomena. Forgive me, Autotype had all the entertainers gathering to him and he got rich from the internet. But his energy, can you speak on that? Who's that he's talking about? Kai. Yeah, not now. We've only got 3 minutes left. Maybe another time. Thank you for answering my questions. Again, peace, brother. I've been following you from the beginning and I've been fighting with trying to find some ways to stay connected to my ancestors, and I've been trying to get into the community. Yeah, reach out in the Telegram group, reach out to me because sometimes we may have to assist you connect with the right people, depending where you are. Maria, greetings again. I was unable to see episode 55 till the end where you had good news to share. Oh, the good news replay of it and did not include your good news. What was it? It's the language course. We've put the language course together in such a way that you can learn our language, Miss Batia, in 6 months. Nothing like this exists right now, and it's absolutely phenomenal. We will share more information about that, but everyone, anywhere on the planet, and it's cost effective. You can do it in your own time. You get the video, you get the instructors teaching you, you can pronounce the words. You literally have everything. So none of us have any excuse not to learn the language. And that's something that a master teacher has been, saying we need to do. And with us, we look at, so we're solutions based. So, we know that's a very important thing. So we've brought it to you. We've made it happen. It's interactive. It's great. So just keep in tune and we will give you more info. It's obviously through the academy where you already studied the fast track, your spiritual and conscious journey. So yeah, that's something that we're very proud of. And look out for more information. Last 2 questions. I'm going to quickly run through this. We've got 1 minute. So that was for you, Maria. Trying to join the community in Charleston, South Carolina, which is like 45 minutes away from me, but I don't ever get a chance to catch no one. Again, get in the Telegram group, talk to us, we will hook you up. I will be, okay, we've covered that. And the last one, greetings OSM, I am a long-term follower and supporter of your content. I spoke to you about the purchase of your merchandise many months ago. Okay, you can deal with that one. You'll have to speak, okay. Sorry to write this in public, but please help. I still would like to purchase the merch. Okay, we'll deal with it. I have spoke to Nishat and they told me to contact Saken. Not sure what else to do. Should I reach out by email? Yes, contact me. We'll deal with it. We're definitely going to deal with it. And on that note, we want to thank you. I hear people saying they've been following and been with us from the beginning of our journey. We're so happy that you stuck it out. It's only the beginning. There's so much more that we're going to give you and to share with you. We hear people all the time talking about how Wu-Sabat has transformed their lives, and that's by way of Pa Nabab Yanun, the master teacher. And yeah, let me share a little thing with you before we leave for today. This was my very first book that I read, right? This, before I heard the master's voice, as you may have heard me share in other videos, but this was the very first book I read, and it's called Back to the Beginning, the Book of Names, and it blew my mind away. And this is where it all started. And there you have the master teacher on the back with that scepter known as the Lamb, okay? Yeah, if you don't know what that means, ask the question and we will break that down. But yeah, so tune in Saturdays, our next live where you can join on Zoom, Clubhouse, and physically at the store. Starts at 7 p.m. I appreciate, love all of you, all those that give us those little donations, they help us. We still have our studio we're trying to build. We've got many things in store for you, and you can still send 3 questions to ask us anything, and just film yourself, send your questions in, and we will answer them for you. So until the next time, next week, same time, same place, Wadu Moisar.
Who is God? God is God. God. I found out that this man, who was Dr. Malachi York,
this free eye actors thing, they're playing on the ignorance of the masses. They let you know what they want you to know.
I said I was going to take all y'all back to Egypt with me. I can't because the Arabs will mess everything up, so hell I'm bringing Egypt here for you.
They've made so much jokes about aliens, but the word really is extraterrestrials or extra beings.
A switch myth. In our language, that means the black man.
They say, oh, it's a craft, and then you start to look at the whole Anunnaki thing. The devil was telling the truth, and God was lying.
Amongst us, we have those beings, those high beings, going back 9 billion years ago, who are here on the planet.
Extraterrestrials do leave their children here. We can name drop them. David Bowie, Jimi Hendrix, caught up in their spiritual or their scientific knowledge of who they were, and they were caught up in both worlds. Within the center of the earth is hollow. There's beings that actually live and reside in there.
They now have fighter jets whereby it's connected to the pilot's subconscious.
Hitler was building this class in the Antarctic.
You can't claim innocence due to ignorance. It doesn't say at the beginning, it says in the beginning. That means during a replenishing period. So that means that the earth was already there.
Some lost their soul because they've mixed in with other creatures on the planet. And when you mix in with other creatures are on a lower level.
Souls are recycled. Spirits are recycled. Most people have not been taught the information about the spirit and the soul.